Welcome to the application iPad app video. This video is the third in a 5-part series. Feel free to check out the other videos for suggested apps in other levels of Bloom's taxonomy. The application level in Bloom's taxonomy requires students to take learned material and information and use it in a model, presentation, interview, or simulation. Some verbs associated with this level include carrying out, using, executing, implementing, showing, and exhibiting. What does this look like with digital technology? Running and operating, the action of initiating a program when students are operating a program to obtain a better goal or objective. Playing, when students who successfully play or operate a game are showing understanding of process and task and application of skills. Uploading and sharing, uploading materials to websites and the sharing of materials. This is a simple form of collaboration, which is a higher order thinking skill. Some criteria to look for when selecting an application app is if it requires students to construct designs, compose ideas, produce solutions, brainstorm, design projects, and imagine possibilities. Let's see some apps that are great for application. The first app for language arts is called Spelling with Friends. This is a free app where students can practice spelling words in a spelling bee and also compete against friends. The words are kind of difficult, but they also do have the opportunity to learn them if they're unsure. So I have the Spell with Friends app open, and as you can see I have the option to learn, which is more of the remembering and understanding, and also the option to practice and compete, which is more so of the application. So if I click on practice, it brings me to a word list I can choose. And then it brings me to a screen where it's going to ask me a word and I can type the word in. And then it also tracks the progress up here. You can find the definition of the word, the origin, and used in a sentence. The other option you have is to compete against a friend, peer-to-peer or the game center. So that's another way that students can collaborate and also apply their knowledge with this app. The next app is a free math app called GeoBoard. I love this app personally because using geoboards in the classroom is always chaotic, but they're very valuable. Using this app on the iPad is less of a mess and more work can get done. The possibilities are endless with this app depending on what the students are being asked to do. You can also save the images students create as they are asked to draw shapes, lines of symmetry, perimeters, and areas. This is the GeoBoard app, and it really looks like a geoboard. There are different rubber bands which students can drag onto the geoboard and stretch to make different shapes. So if you ask students to make a rectangle, they could do that. And then they could also try to figure out the perimeter and area. Another thing you could do is have them make shapes like this rectangle and then use another color to show a line of symmetry. So there are many options with this. You can have a new board. There's different styles. You could make bigger or smaller shapes depending on what you're looking for. And I definitely think that this is an upgrade compared to the ones that we traditionally use in the classroom. The next app is for science, and it's called Tinkerbox. This app is also free, and it requires students to apply their knowledge of machines and how things work to complete a series of challenges or puzzles. They also have the opportunity to invent machines, which is fun. There are clear directions to help students if they need it. This is the Tinkerbox app, which can be used after a unit or during a unit on machines or other science topics, and you can see there's options for puzzles or for inventing. So if you click on puzzles, you can go through the training, which kind of takes you step by step and tells the students how to use certain aspects. It gives you a lot of clear directions. And allows them to kind of refresh what they know. And then the application comes in, and you go to the lab, and they give you kind of like a problem and you have to try to solve it. So our goal is to get one ball in the tube, and obviously this isn't working. So if I add this, let's see if we can get it to work. Great. Another option for this app is the inventing side of it, which is definitely more creative, definitely thinking outside of the box, a little bit more critical thinking, where students are given basically different parts and they are required to build certain inventions. This is definitely engaging and fun and a great way to work it into a machines unit. The last app is another free one, and it's for social studies. This is called History Line, where students have to apply what they know about historical events and correctly place them on the timeline. Students also have the option for collaboration, which is nice. This is History Line, and as you can see, the students have an option for a single player or a multiplayer game. And what's really interesting about the multiplayer game is that the students can connect with Bluetooth. And if you look, this gives kind of like an overview. The timeline stretches all the way through everyone's iPad. So the students really have to work together, and they can pass the different events through their screens almost to connect the events on the timeline. And I think this is a great collaboration activity. If you're doing single player, you can pick different topics, and once you pick a topic, it gives you different events on your timeline, and as you can see, it scrolls. So this timeline goes from 1492 all the way to 1693, and students have to drag the different events and put them on the timeline. So this is about early settlers, so the students have to apply their knowledge about these events and place them on the timeline. If it's correct, it stays. If it's not correct, it goes away. Students can also kind of drag the events so that they're closer to the different time periods, and then they're in a straight line. So this is a really great way of organizing the information and applying what they know into a nice timeline. Those are just 4 of the many application apps that can be used on the iPads in the classroom. Stay tuned for the next video on analyzing and evaluating apps.